Maritime Admiralty Law, often referred to as the law of the sea, is far more than a set of rules governing shipping and commerce on open waters. Over centuries, it has insidiously infiltrated land-based legal systems, transforming how individuals interact with governments, courts, and even each other. Understanding this hidden framework is essential for recognizing how rights and freedoms have been subtly eroded, reducing individuals to mere assets in a global commercial system. Admiralty law originated from ancient maritime practices codified by the Republic of Venice in the 11th century and refined over time. Initially created to regulate commerce, shipping, and the movement of goods, it has since expanded into nearly every aspect of modern life. A key player in this transformation has been the Holy See, representing the intertwining of maritime law with global governance. In 1250, a symbolic ritual aboard a Venetian ship, involving the casting of a papal ring into the sea, signified the unification of maritime authority under a centralized power. This ritual, still performed annually, highlights the enduring influence of the Holy See in maintaining control over global, legal, and economic systems. Treaties such as the Treaty of Paris, Treaty of Westminster, and Treaty of Verona further illustrate how sovereignty and governance were maneuvered into systems aligning with Admiralty principles, undermining democratic and representative governance. Originally confined to maritime commerce, Admiralty law has now been superimposed onto common law, traditionally the law of the land. This shift has fundamentally altered the legal landscape, subordinating fairness and justice to the commercial interests of governments and corporations. Key examples include birth certificates as berth certificates. These register individuals as vessels, effectively placing them within a commercial system from birth. Citizenship and ownership. Everyday terms like leadership, apprenticeship, and ownership subtly reinforce the maritime foundation of societal structures, frozen assets, and bank balance. Financial terminology rooted in maritime concepts illustrates how commerce underpins societal control. Such language is not coincidental, but part of a deliberate system designed to commodify individuals, reducing them to legal entities or vessels governed by contracts rather than natural rights. The pervasive reach of Admiralty law is evidenced by its influence on everyday institutions and interactions. Courtrooms. The accused is placed in the dock, symbolizing their status as a vessel under maritime jurisdiction. Financial transactions. Phrases like liquid assets and frozen accounts derive directly from maritime practices. Contracts. Virtually all agreements from mortgages to employment terms hinge on maritime principles of consent and obligation. All caps names. The legal use of capitalized names denotes corporate entities, separating them from living individuals. Even the gold fringe flags displayed in courts and schools signal the presence of Admiralty jurisdiction over common law. Admiralty law functions through the principle of tacit consent, where individuals unwittingly agree to statutes and acts as if they were contracts. This consent is secured through mechanisms such as berth registration, registering as a vessel in the commercial system. Taxation systems, implicit agreement to maritime jurisdiction through financial compliance. Legal representation, acceptance of the court's authority by failing to challenge jurisdiction. While common law focuses on protecting individuals from harm, fraud, and loss, Admiralty law prioritizes contracts and commerce. This shift has enabled governments to bypass protections, enforcing obligations through presumed consent. At its core, Admiralty law serves as a tool for commodifying humanity. By registering individuals as vessels and enforcing maritime principles on land, a framework has emerged where citizens are assets, not sovereign beings, Financial systems operate as mechanisms of control. Legal systems prioritize contracts over justice. The first step towards reclaiming sovereignty is understanding how Admiralty law operates. Challenging presumptions, asserting natural rights, and insisting on jurisdiction under common law are essential strategies. Cases such as those challenging procedural improprieties demonstrate the power of legal resistance to expose and counter unjust jurisdiction. Practical tools include affidavits, binding declarations that shift the burden of proof back onto claimants; conditional acceptance, agreeing to terms only upon the provision of verified evidence; refusal of presumptions; actively rejecting implied contracts and standing as a natural, sovereign individual. Conclusion: challenging the hidden system. Maritime Admiralty law is not merely a historical relic, but an active framework shaping global governance. From the rituals of the Holy See to the language of contracts and courts, its influence pervades every aspect of modern life. By recognizing and challenging this hidden system, individuals can begin to reclaim their sovereignty, restoring the balance between justice and commerce. The question is no longer whether Admiralty law exists, but how far its reach extends, and what can be done to navigate and dismantle its pervasive control.